Hey all, Brent here with a quick demo of the Kindle DX, at least I hope it'll be quick. Hello to everyone, by the way, on the Amazon forums, Bufo and Dog and all the rest of you. Here's the DX, quite simply. As you can see, it's about head size, pretty large. This is a standard screensaver. It has all the same screensavers as on the Kindle 2 with one new one. Let me just switch over to load the home page. Normal controls, just like the Kindle 2, except nothing on the left-hand side, which is actually nice, as you'll see once you start rotating things. But this is the home page. As you can see, one of the nice things about the size is you get a lot more on the home screen, I think. Things just spread out a little bit more nicely. So let me go ahead and select the book. And it loads about as fast as on a Kindle 2. A little faster, a little slower, depends on some book. This is a book in the normal font size. Forward a page, forward a page, forward page, forward page. As you can see, it's about the same refresh rate as on a Kindle 2. Back, back. Pretty good there. Let me move the font size up to the largest font size. Again, just like on a Kindle 2. You can see that's pretty darn big. You can probably read that right there. So that's pretty cool. Next page, next page. Let me flip it to one side. There we go. And again, you can probably read that pretty well. Not too bad. And I can even flip it upside down, and it'll do the right thing there, etc. All over the way, any way you want. I'm trying to decide whether it's nicer to have the buttons on the top or the button on the bottom. I'm not decided. So let's flip over to a PDF, see what that looks like. Back to the home, I'm going to select a role-playing book I have. Now notice that this says down there, load opening page 262 of 322. It takes a few seconds to load a PDF. As you can see, it was pretty quick. Here's a PDF, again, role-playing material. You can see that displays just like you'd expect. Now, it might be a little slower or faster. Next page. Not bad. Next page. A few seconds there. Yeah, it's taking a little while. Next page. And it depends on the image. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff on there, sometimes it's not. These are obviously image heavy. Next page. So there's just a lot going on. Next page. It seems like the more text, the quicker it is, the more images, the slower it is, which is no big surprise. And that's taking a little while. That's less images, but a little more complicated formatting. Next page. Next page. And again, it just depends on the page. So that should be pretty well fine. Now let's switch over to landscape mode. Should just switch over. Again, it takes a little while for it to load everything. This one's taking longer than most, to be fair. Quite a bit longer than most for some strange reason. There it is. And then next page. Takes a little while. Next page. Not too bad. Next page. See, that's actually pretty readable. Next page. At that speed. And again, it just depends. And I don't know if this is because this is a new Kindle. I just loaded a lot of content on it. If that might be the reason. Who knows? So let's switch on back to normal resolution. See how long that takes. A few seconds there. But again, not too bad. Let's go ahead and try the browser. Menu. Experimental. Everything we're used to there. Basic web. Whoops. It would help if I selected it properly. And I'm going to select ESPN, since that seems to be a pretty good sample of layout. And I have a pretty good WhisperNet here, so this should load about as quickly as it's ever going to. I have 5 bars at the moment. There it loads. This is in the desktop mode, which is the DX's version of advanced mode on the Kindle 2. And I can forward page and back page just like I can with any regular thing. If I switch over to landscape mode, something interesting happens. It takes a few moments, and that's partly because it appears to be reloading the page from scratch from the server. Just like I went to the page again. I don't like that too much. But it does reflow into landscape mode, which works quite well. Next page. Works very, 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 very nicely. And everything works the way you expect it to. I can go up here, I can select a link. Let's see here. Let's go to Let's go down to NBA scores, select that. It'll load that page. and it'll stay in this landscape orientation until I move it. And again, if you have this just sitting on your lap, it should be just fine. So that works perfectly well. Back to the home. And that's pretty much the way it works. Text-to-speech is just like you'd expect. Take a moment to reflow. You can only use it in books. On the PDF, that's completely grayed out. In fact, let's pull up another PDF. I want to show you something interesting I found regarding to flowing of PDFs. This is a different PDF than I had before. If I pull up the font button on here, you'll notice that everything is grayed out except for the screen rotation down there. I can't change the font size, I can't do text-to-speech, words per line, anything, which does make sense. So I'll just dismiss that. And if I try doing text-to-speech, it just won't do anything. If I rotate this one, however, you'll notice something interesting, if this works the way it did before. This one doesn't rotate, and I don't know why. It says at the bottom, some elements on this page could not be displayed. So I don't know what's preventing this from zooming. This was a pretty well scanned document, so that's definitely a mystery. And again, there's no way of zooming. The 5-way controller does nothing while I'm on this, so who knows. But that is how it works. It displays and refreshes pretty well. As I mentioned, I'm very happy with the DX. I think it's a very good jump up. And just to give you a bit of a sense, more of a sense of scale, I'm going to show you the DX just sort of more in a natural light here. Here's just how it looks, in terms of regular reading. In fact, let me pull off a paperback here. Here's a normal paperback. There's a Kindle. So it's not that too giantly huge. And here is a fairly large hardback. So the Kindle's about that size, quite thin. The cover I'm actually quite happy with because for me it covers the Kindle very, very well. Haven't found any problems with pressing in on the 5-way controller doing anything. Who knows if that'll cause any problems. Interesting thing, this is magnetized slightly. This is actually being held together. I'm actually exerting some pressure here and it's not coming up. You can actually see that. This is just being held closed. In fact, if I do this and hold it just by the top, that's not going to go down. So they've actually improved the cover design quite a bit. So this actually stays closed, and in fact when you flip it over, it stays there as well. It doesn't flip. So I like the cover, I like the DX, everything works quite well and no problems at all. And that's my demo. Take care.